All right. Well, with Do You Know out of the way, do you know what's next?
Yes, the wonderful review for
Yes.
Infinity Warps.
Yes. And as always, Tim is going to kick it off with the credits.
So we are going to do Infinity Warps Arachknight issues 1 and 2, and the credits for that are as follows: written by Dennis Hopeless, artwork by Ali Garza, inks by Victor Alazaba, colors by Ruth Redmond, and letters go to VC's Joe Caramagna. So the best way to describe this, and I didn't read Infinity Wars, so I was kind of tossed into the middle of this, and that's exactly what it is.
Mhm.
You're tossed into the middle of this world that has been created, I think, because Gamora with the Infinity Stones, right?
Yes. Gamora is primarily issue 3, I believe it was 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Let me know in the comments down below or in chat if you guys can. But yeah, it started with Gamora, and all of the big primetime players were basically standing around her, and basically Moon Knight standing next to Spider-Man. He's like, should I be worried about this? And she's got the stone, and he's like, just stay next to me, we'll be fine. And Infinity Warp kicked off after she uses the stones, and it's almost an amalgamation of the characters from was it Soldier Supreme to Iron Hammer to Arachknight. I believe it's Scarlet. What was it? Not Scarlet Witch. I forgot. It was the X-23 and Scarlet Witch crossover.
Yeah. But the story kind of throws you into the middle, and you come to this guy here, and I can't remember what amalgamation of the names they used. Was it Mark Parker or Peter Spector or something like that, or was
it was something along those lines,
something like that. But the point is all the powers of Spider-Man with Moon Knight's abilities too, and even the personalities, and they all have their own unique personalities. But the thing is over the course of the 2 issues, you follow Arachknight as he goes through his day-to-days, and his best friend Harry and his dad, like this version, I'm just going to call him Peter, which I believe is
still Peter Parker.
Yeah, but he runs a company, and Harry works with him, but Harry knows that he is the Arachknight, and each one of the personalities has their own motivation, but it all stems from the night that he became the Arachknight, when his aunt and uncle were killed, and he was bitten by this green goblin monster thing. And over the
almost
course
like a werewolf.
Yeah, and over the course of these 2 issues, it's about an adult Peter Parker who still has to deal with the crisis that took place for him to become who he is, the multiple personalities and all of that stuff. And it is just an amazing adventure from first page to last page. And I was so mad when at the end of the 2nd issue, it's like it's getting ready to gear up for a 3rd, and it's like, nope, that's it. What? But no, it was great. It was great. The things that you loved about Peter Parker, and the things that you loved about Mark Spector, and even Norman and Harry Osborn and their respective villains, the Green Goblin and things like that, and Werewolf by Night, all that stuff, it's all thrown in together, and it was all written very, very well by Dennis Hopeless. And the artwork that was done by Ali Garza complemented it very, very well. And I got to give a big shout out to colors, Ruth Redmond, because her work on that really made the book pop. And even though you're kind of thrown right into the middle of this world, and you only have 2 issues, in those 2 issues, Dennis, the writer, does a very wonderful job of giving you an origin, a present day, motivation, and even a pseudo ending, kind of. But I mean, it all plays out like a typical Marvel comic book would play out, and it leaves you at this cliffhanger at the end, and you just want more. And I know there's one more book that has him in it, but I don't think it continues that particular story. So with that being said, I had a lot of fun reading this. As soon as you recommended it, I'd never heard of it before, and I was like, "Oh, okay, I'll check this out." And I loved it. I read it in one day. I thoroughly enjoyed this. It covered a lot of ground, like I said, in 2 issues. It didn't make you feel left out. It made you feel very much in the know, because as soon as you got started, you went through the motions, went through the paces, and it was very easy to follow, and it wasn't confusing at all. So with all that being said, the writing, I give a solid 10 out of 10 because of that aspect, because of how well he did throughout the 2 issues. Top notch, 10 out of 10. And the artwork gets a 9 out of 10 for me, not because there was anything to nitpick at, but it's just like those, well, maybe it's like those little inconsistencies that just
Right.
can't bring it up to a 10. So overall, 9.5 out of 10. This was super fun. I'm glad you recommended it, and I would in turn recommend it to anybody that wants to read something that you don't have to be super invested in, but can get a lot of enjoyment out of.
That's a higher score than I thought you were going to give it, honestly. I figured it'd be high, but I didn't think 9.5 was going to be your
Yeah,
realm.
I loved it. I loved it.
I love the book too. I like you alluded to earlier, the aspect of how well the colors and the art just blend together. It made the book for me, and that's one thing I'm not going to forget, is seeing the Arachknight for the first time and
Mhm.
just being like, that's a character I want to get into more.
The
Like, and
suit
it,
works, man. It works.
yeah, and that was the biggest thing for me, was like, I want more of this. I'm invested into this now,
Yeah.
and yeah, it didn't pan out the way we expected. I was hoping for like a solo series, something else, world title after the fact.
Mhm.
Obviously, we didn't get that. But yeah, just having both elements of Peter Parker and Mark Spector. At the time, Peter Parker had his own business in his solo book. So we kind of trickled that in. We
Yeah.
had the Mark Spector split personality disorder, or the DID. That worked in. We also had both their origins kind of coming into one with the Werewolf by Night,
Yeah.
the bite, all that. And to me, it was just overall, it's just a fun filled book. I think all of them are, but this one was the top for me. Like I said, I can't rave about these 2 issues enough as far as what you're getting yourself into. And I think you said it perfectly, where it's like you can jump into this and just be like, perfect.
Yeah,
You
you
don't,
don't have to know
and
anything.
it'll reference the Infinity War in there as well. It has a little editor's note saying, hey, check out, Infinity War
Yeah.
issue, whatever issue I said earlier, insert here, for more information. But just being a solo 2 issues, it works perfectly by itself. So my grade, I give the writing a 9. I
Mhm.
give the art a 9, but I'm giving it 8.9 overall. The only reason I'm saying that is because of the fact that this should have been a ongoing series. I want to give it a 9 so bad. I want to give it a perfect 9, but at this rate, like,
I really
8.9 is where I'm at.
I really struggled with cutting the writing down because of that, but I don't think it was his fault though, because they're
No,
like,
it's not.
you get 2 issues,
But if
and
Marvel, if you're listening right now, Arachknight needs to come back out and make an appearance in at
yes,
least a 12-issue maxi series.
Spider-Verse, was
Bring him
he in
in.
that?
No, bring him in.
That was a
I mean,
wasted opportunity.
yes.
Just saying.
Marvel, add us, give us some creative control here. We can help.
Absolutely. That's
DC,
awesome.
I'm still waiting for a phone call, by the way. No.
So, Jamie, I give it a 9.5. You give it an 8.9.
Yeah.
Those are great grades, though. Those are great scores.
And it's not that like I'm not being petty about it that we didn't get a series out of it, but the way it left you wanted more.
Yeah. Oh,
and
yeah.
As a consumer, as a fan, as everything else, that's how I felt the entire time. I still feel that way. I try to find anything Arachknight. It's very hard and expensive to find.
I haven't seen it anywhere.
You have a Pop Funko, but it's out of this world expensive, and I want it.
I saw that, like, when I was looking for pictures for my background. I was like, oh, cool, they got a Funko. I didn't even look at the price, and now I'm afraid to.
Yeah, but no, I got, like I said, so it's not like really a petty score. It's more of a, as me being a reader, I felt like I was left out. I was left away from that experience that we could have had.
You got to look through the window and they're like, okay, that's enough.
Yeah, no one needs to see this anymore. It was perfect where it was. Now you just screwed it up for everybody.
Well, all right, Jamie, 9.5 from me, 8.9 from you. That wraps up reviews.